Good morning. I wanted to do a quick little video about reminder how to solve 1 and 2 step equations. In these problems, the variable is going to be on one side or the other, not on both sides of the equation. Some quick little notes here that you can pause if you need to. A couple different strategies. Some people locate the variable term first. Once you know where the variable term is, you isolate that term. That is, get rid of other terms. And then once you've got the variable term isolated, then you need to isolate the variable, usually by multiplying or dividing on the last step. Or another way of saying it is use reverse order of operations. Okay, I'll try to explain it both ways as I do problems. Usually your equal sign splits into a right and a left side. In this case, the variable is on the right. That's the term I want to isolate, so I want to get rid of the 17. You get rid of the negative 17 and make it disappear by doing the opposite, inverse operation. It's called inverse operations. Right? Inverse operation. The opposite of a negative or minus 17 is a plus 17. When you add 17 to both sides, the 17 disappears on the right. When you add it over here, you get negative 18. And then if there was something connected to the n, coefficient, you would divide or to get rid of it, but since there's not, you're done. These are little one-steppers. Okay, I'm going to skip down to this one where the variable's on the left. There's my variable term. I need to move this term to the other side or get rid of it. The way you get rid of a negative 4 and make it disappear is by adding 4. Whatever you do to one side, you need to do to the other. That becomes 0, and we have an m on this side. And now we have our positive negative numbers where they're going to fight each other, and you're going to get negative 15. Let's go down to this one here. There's the p. I want to move the minus 14 to the other side or get rid of it by doing the opposite, which is plus 14. Now we have a positive negative number situation where we want to, signs are different, subtract, take the sign of the larger number, or they're going to fight, so you subtract, and the negatives are going to win the fight. This time here we have a multiplication, so you want to do the opposite operation or inverse operation. Inverse means opposite. To get rid of a times 7, you divide by 7. And the reason why you do that is 7 divided by 7 is 1n. Okay? 1n, or just plain n. Then over here you divide and get negative 7. Okay? I want to skip to some two-steppers. Actually, if I better mention this one here. Okay, there's the variable. Connected to it is a divide by 2, and the inverse would be times 2. That gives me an 8 on this side, and what officially happens is the 2's cancel over there. You don't have to necessarily show that, but that's what's happening. The 2's cancel to a 1k, but you don't have to write the 1. Okay. This one, the opposite operation is to divide, and I want to divide by that number. Okay, divide by that number. So I divide by negative 2, not the opposite of 2. The opposite is, the opposite of multiplication is division. Okay, so that's where I do the opposite. And I also want this to reduce to a positive 1, which is why you divide by negative 2. And then when you divide by negative 2 over here, you get negative 2. Okay? All right, let's skip to a two-stepper. Okay, this time the variable's right there, the variable term. I want to isolate this term first by getting rid of the 2. I get rid of the 2 by subtracting it on both sides. So now I've isolated the b term by minusing 2. And now I get rid of a times 6 by dividing by 6. Okay? Or to look at it another way, if I knew what b was, the first thing you would do in order of operations is you would multiply by 6 and then add 2. So to solve, you do reverse order of operations. Since the first thing I would do is multiply by 6 and add 2, to solve it, the first thing you do is move the 2, 12, and then get rid of the 6. Okay, so you do things in reverse order. Order of operations says multiply then add, but when you're solving, you get rid of the addition and then you get rid of the multiplication. Okay, and let's do this one here. Here's the variable term that I want to isolate, so I get rid of the plus 5 by subtracting 5. And now I get rid of the divide by 4 by multiplying by 4. A equals 8. Again, in order of operations, if you want to think of it as reverse order of operations, if I had a number in here for A, I would have divided then added. So in order of solving, you do the opposite. So I get rid of the adding first, and then I get rid of the dividing second. Get rid of the adding by subtracting, get rid of the dividing by multiplying. Okay? Just a reminder again, if I have a negative 3m, I divide by negative 3, not positive 3. Okay? You want that to cancel to a positive 1. That's why you got to divide by negative. Okay? If you have any questions, you can email me or something, but that is it for today. Your assignment is on Canvas.